Hello. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of July 2025. This is Chaotic Crochet Chatter. I'm recording a lot later in the day than I normally do, which means it is getting dark outside. So the lighting is not really playing ball today. I've done what I can to try and make things reasonable, but it's not great, so I'm sorry about that. I hope it's not too bad at your end. I'm hoping that when I come to edit it will look better on my screen than it does at the moment. But yeah, it looks pretty terrible. Anyway, welcome back for those of you who are regulars or have been here even once before, and a huge welcome to anyone who is new as well. I've seen a couple of new subscribers hitting that button lately. It always makes me so happy when that happens, so thank you so much. My name is Jenny. I am a crocheter, a spinner, a generally crafty person living in Harrogate, which is in North Yorkshire in the UK, and I have my own little business where I sell hand spun yarn and stitch markers and buttons and that sort of thing. More to come in the future. I will talk more about this later, but I am undergoing a rebrand at the moment, so things are changing a little. Currently the business name is Stitchcraft Gifts. In about a week and a half it will become Stitchcraft Studio, so depending on when you're watching this will depend on which name you know me by. Yeah, like I say, it's getting dark. Again, I'll talk more about it later, but basically I'm recording in the evening because it's the summer holidays, so I have no time during the day. None. That's not strictly true, but it's what it feels like. What else can I say? The one benefit of recording in the evening is that I've got my lovely wax melt warmer on. I've got this cheap wax melt going today. What's it called? Molten orange. It smells like orange juice. I absolutely love it. I tend not to put wax melts on during the day. I've got an electric one, but still I forget to turn it off because I don't notice that it's on. Like, I can't see it. Whereas when it's dark and then I turn all the lights off, I can still see it glowing. It's like, that reminds me. So yeah, I have it on in the evenings. Not every evening, but quite often. And it's just nice. It smells gorgeous in here today, which is always lovely. My camera froze and I've got no idea where I got up to. So just in case, I'm going to say it again. Hopefully it's already recorded and you won't hear this bit, but you might, because I might have had to clip out the bit before. I need to slow down. My camera does not like it when I move quickly. So in the description there will be links to all the places you can find me, anybody else that I talk about today in the video. What else? Oh, project pages, the Ravelry project pages for all the projects that I talk about today, and timestamps for the different sections of the video. It's really thrown me. I've lost my train of thought. For all the different sections, so that you can skip from one to the next, skip ones, whatever. However you want to watch. If you want to watch the spinning section before the works in progress section, or want to miss something altogether, you do you. That's fab. That is almost it for the intro, but there is one more very, very important thing to mention before I carry on, and that is that it has been my podcast birthday last week, I think it was. I always forget the exact date. I did mention it on Instagram though, so if you've seen it on there, that's when it was. And yeah, my little podcast is 2 whole years old. That's pretty amazing. When I first started it, I didn't know how long I'd carry on for, to be honest. It was just I'm going to try this and see if I like it. And I'm kind of addicted now. I genuinely really enjoy coming on and talking about all the things that I do and sharing them with you. It's so lovely to talk to people. I've made a couple of lovely friends through doing this. Online friends. I haven't met them in person yet. Hopefully one day I will. It's just really lovely. So huge thank you to anyone who's been here for a long time. I don't think there's anyone who's been here right from the very beginning. Sorry if there is and I've missed you, forgotten about you. But yeah, for my very longest subscribers in particular, thank you so much. It's just, I mean, I appreciate every single one of you, but those who stick by and who watch every single video and comment, and you really make my day when you do that. So I want to celebrate, of course. This summer seems to be the summer of giveaways. I've got them coming out of every orifice. Yeah, I must do one for my birthday. I mean, come on, who doesn't do a birthday giveaway for this sort of thing? I was in town beginning of last week, I think, and I went into the Works, which is a sort of budget craft store, and they sell like books and games and things like that as well, but they are best known for being the home of cheap craft supplies, which is lovely. It's why I go in there. I was looking for something else entirely, but then I noticed they had some lovely little crochet kits, and I saw this one and I thought this would just make the perfect prize for somebody. How cute. How cute is that? So this is the main prize. I will include one or two other things as well, because why not? How to enter. Let's keep it simple. Put a comment on this video just saying happy birthday, or include happy birthday in your comment. If you would like to write more than that, by all means do, but include the phrase happy birthday in your comment. I will pick a winner at random in the next episode. You've got a good 3 weeks to enter, just whenever you watch this. If it's within 3 weeks of the release date, there's still time. Oh, the one other thing though is you must be a subscriber already. I want to make this something for those of you who have actually supported me and been with me. I don't know, people who kind of dip in and out, haven't subscribed but maybe have a watch every now and then. Great, I appreciate the views, I really do, but it's the subscriber numbers that I notice. And I feel like the way that I watch this kind of video is the ones I really like, the ones I really enjoy, I will subscribe to. So I kind of figure if people are watching it and not subscribing, then maybe this content isn't for them. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But if you are watching and haven't subscribed yet and would like to be in with a chance of winning, it's very simple. Just subscribe. It's not difficult. So yeah, be a subscriber, pop a comment on this video, include the phrase happy birthday, and you could be in with a chance of winning. Yay. Okay, on to projects, crochet projects specifically. I've got a few to talk about today. A couple of new things, I think, but mostly things you'll have seen before. Starting with this gorgeousness. I love it so much. This is the Stella shawl. The pattern is by Alexis of Sixel Designs. It is from this glorious book. If you are a fan of alternative, gothic, witchy, vibey things, and you like crochet, whether or not you have tried mosaic crochet before, this book is well worth it. Alexis of Sixel Design. She has tutorials on her YouTube channel, and I think she's got a couple of blog posts possibly on her website as well. But even without that, the patterns in here and all the ones that she releases online as well, you can buy PDF copies of so many other patterns by her that are all gorgeous. She explains the techniques so well, and most of them are a lot simpler than you might think. Okay. This, the tea house mug rug. For one, it's only a mug rug, it's not big, so it won't take you long. Two, it's a really repetitive pattern, so it gives you a chance to get to know how the stitches work really quickly, because you're repeating the same pattern, you know, every few rows. And obviously I'm not going to show you the pattern instructions because it's in her book that she would like you to pay for. But yeah, don't be afraid of mosaic crochet if you haven't tried it before. It is so much easier than it looks, and oh, it's so beautiful. You can do so many really amazing things with it. She's obviously not the only mosaic crochet designer out there. There are plenty more, some of whom I also buy patterns from. But I love all her patterns, they're gorgeous. Back to the Stella shawl. This is a project that I started quite some time ago now, and it went into hibernation for a while, and then I have revived it recently as part of my well, two things. It's part of a submission for, I should say, the what's it called, Advents of Summer make along, being run by, my mind keeps going blank completely, the brain fog is real today, Laura of Folk Yarn Studio and The Lonely Knitter. She's running an Advents of Summer make along until the middle of September, I think, the aim of which is to use up those yarny advents that are in your stash and complete some projects with them. If you're anything like me, you will have 2 or 3 minimum tucked away in your stash. It is also one of my contributions. Obviously I'm not submitting to win a prize because it's my own make along, this one, but it is one of my contributions to my Summer Sad make along that we are almost halfway through now. That is running to the end of September. I will pop some details and a link to the dedicated video in the description for you so you can find out what that's all about. If you haven't already entered, you've still got plenty of time. If you have already entered and you didn't win a prize in June, don't worry, we've got another prize draw coming up at the end of this month, another one at the end of August, another one at the end of September, and anyone who has already entered is eligible for all of the prize draws. So obviously the same submission won't win. So it was lovely Gillian, wasn't it, who won in June. She may win again, but not for the same submission, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Perhaps not, I don't know. But yeah, there are plenty of chances to win still, and it's dead easy to enter. So details below on that. I keep going off on a tangent. This shawl, I've told you about the pattern. The yarn is, the black is Yarnsmith's Merino sock, although I'm running out of sock and I might finish it with DK because I'm using the sock 4-ply held double, and honestly it's a pain in the arse because it's really slippery, which is it's lovely. It's a beautifully soft, smooth yarn. It's you know, for 100% merino wool, it's very affordable, but it feels really expensive, if that makes sense. Because of that, it's just, yeah, it's just a bit of a pain. So if I do run out of the sock, then I may well finish it with DK. Having said that, I can't actually find the cake of the sock yarn that I was using. It's done a runner, so this project is on hold until I find that again. Unless I do decide to just pick up a skein. Yeah, pick up a skein of DK and carry on. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know. The coloured yarn, variegated, beautiful, gorgeous, speckly, patchy, amazing colours, which you can see even better on the back. These are from the 2023 Advent from Vicky Brown Designs. I am quite near to the end of this shawl. It's a triangle shawl, worked top down, so it is getting steadily narrower. Yeah, I've only got, how many stars am I down to? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 4 stars across, so I've only got another 3 repeats, I think, to do. And because the rows are getting shorter, we're getting to a point where each little mini skein of yarn is doing approximately 1 repeat. We'll probably even do more than that by the time I get to the bottom. Where was I going with that? So yeah, I'm nearly finished with the project, and I am at the moment approaching halfway through the Advent. So I'm going to have roughly half an Advent left. 12 mini skeins of DK weight sock yarn. So guess what I'm going to do with it? Not socks, actually. I was going to make socks because it is sock yarn, and DK socks are gorgeous and squishy, and when it hits winter and the house is cold again, having some lovely squishy socks would be lovely. I'm actually thinking though that I might make some leg warmers. I was going to do it last year and never got around to it. I think this might be the year. We shall see. Watch this space. I shall report back. Yes, I am making really, really good progress on this. It is super nearly finished. I'm going to do, these ends are going to be turned into proper tassels when I'm done. Just using more of the black. I'm not going to add more colours in because I have literally used up every scrap of all the different mini skeins so far. So I'll just add in some more of the black to make the tassels. There'll just be that little bit of colour, which I think will be really lovely. And yeah, as soon as I find that cake of yarn, or crack and dig out a skein of DK, I'll carry on. It may well be finished the next time you see it. We shall see. Okay, another work in progress. Just give you a quick progress update on this one because it still doesn't actually look all that exciting. The lightweight hexagon cardigan that I'm working on. This is the second hexagon, so I've done more than it looks like from showing you this. And I think in terms of number of rows, I'm about halfway through this hexagon. Obviously each row is bigger than the one before, so I'm actually less than halfway, but halfway through. It's still going kind of slow, quicker than it was now that I'm onto the second hexagon, because I know how many rows I need to do. So I've got my row counter and I just go round and round and round and click them off and keep going until it's done. But I haven't had a huge amount of time to crochet anyway recently, and when I am getting time, there are other projects that I want to work on more interesting ones. That said, I do want to get this finished because today's not been too bad, but it is the middle of summer. Warm weather does keep happening. I want to be able to wear this. So I do need to get on with it, and I think once I join the hexagons and it actually looks like a cardigan, I'll be much happier with it and will want to work on it more because it'll feel like it's a wearable. At the moment it's just two slightly wobbly bits of fabric. The pattern that I'm using, there are many hexagon cardigan patterns out there. The one that I'm using is, I can't remember the designer's name, but it's written for Folkestone Harbour Yarn. Again, it'll be linked. It's a really, really simple pattern, really well written. Again, I actually got it for free, but I think it might be a paid one, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I got a free one. Because I'm special. No, because I went to East Anglia Yarn Festival and it was in the podcaster pack, I think, that I received from going to there. This is the yarn that I'm using. I've got 2 matching cakes. Gorgeous, sparkly, gradient, monochrome. What's not to love? It is a Cotton Kings Sultan Deluxe Shine. And the colourway, what's the number? 28, which I believe is called Black Olive, according to what I've written on there. Anyway, I hope I'm right. I will have checked it before I write it down. So yeah, that is, progress is slow, but it is going. It is progressing. So again, hopefully I'll have a bit more to show you next time. Super quick update. Nothing to show you for this one because I'm about to frog it and start again. I will link the project page below. Background noise, my husband's coming upstairs. I will pause in a moment when I've finished doing this. Yeah, just to clarify, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the pattern that I've been using, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with the yarn that I've been using. It is simply that they're not coming together in the way that I'd hoped. So I'm going to frog it, save the yarn, use it for something else at some point, and I'm either going to use the same pattern with a different yarn or completely freehand something with new yarn, start again from scratch. So I might pop a picture up of how far I got if I remember to take one before I frog it. Yeah, it's a great pattern. It's really, really nicely written, very well explained, looks fantastic. It just hasn't worked out yet with this particular yarn, so I haven't decided yet which direction I'm going to take, but again, hopefully next time I'll have an update for you. Okay, I cannot remember whether I showed you this last time. Can't even remember whether I started it. I know I was planning it. Sorry, it's my phone. And I was about to start it. But yeah, I don't. If I had started, I hadn't done very much. Anyway, ta-da! How? That's my stomach. Oh my god, all the noises. How amazing is this? I'm in love with this. This is not finished, but it very, very nearly is. This is the plant hanger that I am making for my friend Gemma of Yorkshire Indie. Yarn purchased from my local yarn shop, who of course I will link below. It's Yarn Etc. in Harrogate. And it's worked out really quickly, actually, much more than I thought it would. And I'm just so happy with it. so happy with it. Gemma chose, with my help, but chose the pattern, the skulls and the roses, because those are both elements that she uses in her branding for her business, and the colours are also representative of her brand colours, so it's completely custom. The pattern is slightly adapted from another one by Sixel Design. This is from her Skulls and Roses pattern. I've tweaked it very, very slightly, literally just removing a little bit of the space between the skulls and the roses, and I think there was an extra motif as well at the beginning and end of the row, but I don't need that because this goes all the way around. So yeah, and it's perfect. So yeah, all that's left to do, to be honest, is I think I need to just block it a little bit, maybe tighten up this top edge so that it sort of hugs the pot a little bit more. I kind of want it to do that and stay up on its own, which it isn't quite doing at the moment. So I might just put another little row of slip stitches round and maybe add a couple of decreases just to get it to suck in a little bit. And then I'm in the process of making the hanging cords to attach to it so that Gemma can hang this up in her bathroom, and then it will be done. The yarn is Rico Rikarumi. Yes, Rico Rikarumi DK in black and dark teal, I think. Yeah, there's not much else to say except it's amazing and I love it. And actually I wildly overestimated the amount of yarn that I would need, so I might see if Gemma wants another one, preferably with a different design, but we'll see what she says. Okay, this next one is another one that I'm really excited about, and you did see this one last time because this is the previously hibernating work in progress that I took out of hibernation last week after spinning my work in progress spinny wheel project picker thing, whatever you call it. I never know what to call it. Spinny wheel. I got a bit obsessed with this and now I have a completed blanket. Not my usual colours because I've just used the yarn that was in this box. I think I said last time. My brain's all over the place. This is from a Crochet Society box, things moving about inside, and the yarn was from that box, and then I had gone rogue with the pattern and I've actually made this up myself, and here it is. Obviously I can't get it all in shot. I will put a picture of the full thing up here so you can see it in all its glory. But look how pretty. Again, not my usual colours. And I will, I think, sell this, not even on my website. I'll stick it up somewhere else on Facebook or Vinted, or hell, if you want it, drop me a comment and we'll sort something out. Something, I'll sell it somehow. Or possibly even, no, I'm not going to say that. I'll sell it. But I do love it, and it's not going to be sold yet because I want to write up this pattern, and I will be, once I've done that, I'll be releasing it. It's gonna be a while. I've got a lot on at the moment. I don't have the time to write up a brand new pattern at the moment, especially because I want to tweak it slightly, so I can't just use the chart that I've already done, although it'll be very, very close. And I want to change the joining method and possibly give a couple of different options for the border, because I have done crab stitch because I'm a masochist, and I know that is not a choice that everybody would make, so I thought a couple of different options would be good. And also I want to remake it in colours that are more me, more saturated, deeper, darker, bolder or moodier depending on what I feel like at the time. Blues, purples, maybe blue and green for a kind of underwater vibe, possibly with a black border or a dark grey, something like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Watch this space. Where was I going? So yeah, I've got all of that to do before I finally get rid. But it's lovely. I'm very, very glad. I'm just very glad that I've made it, basically. So yeah, as I said, the pattern is of my own making. Inspired by the contents of the Crochet Society box, there was a pattern for a turtle amigurumi included with this box, which is, well, I suppose was kind of the starting point, the inspiration point for the blanket. Let me show you the yarn, because there is a little bit left. Actually, there's quite a lot left of that one. So yeah, I've got a full cake of that colour, which is called Clotted Cream. I've also got a bit more of a cake of that and a bit of the blue. And then I've got a little bit of the scrappy off-white I was using. And the cream and blue. Okay. Cream and blue is Stylecraft Bambino DK. And it's Clotted Cream and Vintage Blue, I think, although I've lost one of the labels. I think the other colourway is called Vintage Blue. And then the off-white, was it off-white or was it white-white? It was off-white. Is Kind Feather from Hobby. There's a cat in the background. And that is colourway 02, which is called Off-White, which I just had in my stash. I don't know exactly how much I've used of all of them yet, but I know it's under 100 grams of each colour, so it doesn't use a huge amount of yarn. Yeah, happy. So I will of course let you know when I do get around to writing that up. It might end up being a next year's thing now, because to me this is quite a summery pattern. I don't know, turtles say summer to me. Beach vibe, isn't it? Because they lay their eggs on beaches. That'll be what it is. I've got at least one other pattern that I want to release. Well, I've got one I'm working on at the moment, which I'll get to, and at least one more that I want to release this year. So, along with all the other stuff that I'm doing. Because, you know, go big or go home, right? Okay, the last on my list of excuse me, crochet projects to show you in the crochet projects section, it's not actually the last crochet project to show you, is one I can't physically show you because it has been gifted. I made this for Ned's teacher. Ned is my son, who was just broken up for the summer. He is 9 and his teacher this year has, I mean, they've all been great at his school. He's just finished year 4. Every teacher he's had so far has been lovely. All the other teachers that we have encountered in any capacity have been lovely. Miss Morrow this year has just been so sweet. She's just gorgeous and she absolutely raves about Ned. So I wanted to make her a little something, and I found out through a couple of slightly pointed questions to Ned, not to her, that she has a black Labrador called Ralph, I believe. And so I thought I'd make her a little toy Labrador. My idea was that she could, you know, keep him in the classroom maybe if she wanted to, up to her of course. Ned was like, yeah, and if she goes on holiday and has to leave the dog behind, then she's got one she can take with her, because he is a sweetheart. I didn't actually see her to give it to her. It was handed over by Ned on the last day, and Kelvin, my husband, was dropping him off and picking him up, but apparently she opened it straight away and was just over the moon, so that made me very, very happy. It was a really super cute and easy pattern. It is entirely no sew. Let's see, I think there is someone to come in. Yes, we have a cat in the room. Yeah, entirely no sew. Literally all I needed the needle for was sewing in the ends. All the rest was crochet stitches. You are going to get a tail in front of the camera every now and then. yeah, it works brilliantly. It's amazing. The pattern is Marley the Labrador by Theodore and Rose. I have used their patterns before and they are always great. I think, might my keyboard you? I think this is the first of theirs that I've done that has been no sew. I think all the rest have involved sewing pieces together. But it worked, well, in my opinion, even better because I didn't have to sew things. It was clearly very well planned, very well thought out, and came together perfectly, as you can see. The only change that I made was that I embroidered the eyes instead of using safety eyes, purely because I actually find that easier and I think it looks nicer, although I'm not very happy with the facial features on this one, but that's beside the point, kind of. Yeah, it's a thing I've started doing, and most of the time I like it better, and it means that if Miss Morrow is around any very, very young children, I don't know if she has any in her life, it won't matter if they get hold of it. They're not going to choke on the safety eyes if they come out or anything like that. But yeah, brilliant pattern, highly recommend. And the yarn that I used is the Signet Pato Everyday DK in black. Nothing fancy. No colour changes, no nothing, just a simple black Labrador. Super happy with it. Okay, Neris has gone again. She just likes to come and say hello and then she disappears. Okay, so the other crocheted items that I wanted to talk to you about are these. These are two examples of my basket bottomed bag, of which I have, for which I have designed the pattern. This is just coming to the end actually of the testing period. I think all my testers have finished. They just need to complete the feedback form. If you're watching this and I haven't reminded you, complete the feedback form. Just so I can, what I want to do is, along with the PDF pattern that will be available for purchase, I want to have like a little lookbook type thing at the end, which has a page for each tester with their Instagram handles so people can find them, and a picture of their bag along with the yarn they used and how much of it they used and details like that, just so that people can get a good idea nice and quickly of how it will work up in different types of yarn. So the pattern is designed for 100% cotton. Other yarn bases do work, but I find that the cotton, what am I trying to say? For me, cotton works best for the base part in particular, because you get that nice stiffness that you want for the basket part. Ideally Aran weight for the bottom, but I don't have any, so I cheated. I have used DK weight cotton held double for the bottom part, and then you use just one strand of DK for the top section with a slightly larger hook, and it just makes it, the top bit is nice and loose, and that means so when you open it up you can then, with a tiny bit of fiddling, hopefully not quite this much usually, turn it into a basket. So if you've got things, this was inspired by my husband requesting a new dice bag for his birthday back in May, but he had a very specific request in that it needed to stay open so that he didn't have to take all the dice out, he could just like dip in and pick them out, and so that's what he got. So yeah, you can use it as a basket, or you can use it as a bag that more or less stays open by itself, especially if you don't make the top part too tall. But again, that is up to you. This is very easily customizable. And it's just got a simple drawstring, which again I do explain how to do, how to make the cords and how to insert them for that to work nice and easily. And there we go. I am intending to have the pattern out, finished and ready and released, hopefully on Ravelry and on, well no, have it released, let me go back a step, have it released by the 1st of August, on the 1st of August. My intention is, but I haven't figured out how to do this yet, so we'll see. My intention is to have a free blog style version on my website, and then for you to be able to purchase a very low cost PDF version via Ravelry initially, possibly through one or two other places as well, but through Ravelry first of all. And that PDF, you will, as I said, get the lookbook as well, and you will get access to the video tutorial that I have recorded and edited. That is finished and done and uploaded and ready. So yeah, it's hopefully quite good value, but obviously that free version is there for anyone who doesn't feel that they need the pictures or the video or whatever, and just wants a quick guide to what you do. I think that's everything I wanted to say about that. If I remember anything else, I'll come back and tell you later. We shall see. Okay, next planned projects. I still haven't started designing the blanket I want to make for Kelvin. I am hoping still to get it done by Christmas, but I really need to crack on if I'm going to do that. So that has moved almost to the top of my to-do list. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to promise that I'll have started it by next time, but it is my hope that I will at the very least have a design and know what I want to do. Because that will then tell me whether or not it is achievable by Christmas or not. Other plans. Okay. Ned has asked me to make him a couple of little hedgehog toys. I am reading to him the Redwall books at the moment by Brian Jacks. I'll stick one of the covers up here. Not in any particular order. I thought the one called Redwall was the first in the series. It's not. Completely misremembered that. In fact, I don't think it's even called the Redwall series because that book is quite late on. Anyway, Redwall is the one we read first. That was a surprisingly hard sentence to say. We are now on Mossflower, which also isn't the first in the series. And never mind. I'm really enjoying reading them. Ned's really enjoying listening to them, and no spoilers at all. This is, not a spoiler for the plot or anything. In the Mossflower book, there's a family of hedgehogs, and two of the hedgehog children are not integral to the story, but they have a part to play in it, and he really loves them. And it just so happens that when I tested the Billy the Badger pattern, which I showed you last time, I think, from Helen, I'm saying tentatively, sorry if I've got that wrong, of HLM Crochet, one of the brain fog. It's gone blank in there again. When we'd done that, all of us testers, when we'd finished testing that pattern, not only did we get a copy of the finished badger pattern, but she also sent us a little hedgehog amigurumi pattern, which is adorable. Picture will go here for you because oh my god, it's so cute. It is designed for plush yarn, and I don't think I've got any in the right colours, but I will check before I make it them, because I'm going to make two. So if I do, I'll make it in plush yarn. If not, I'll just do it in acrylic. Most of the things I've made for Ned have been in acrylic yarn, and they've all been fine. So yeah, serendipity. Just before I was asked to make some hedgehogs, a hedgehog pattern landed in my inbox. Is that not just fate? So I will get onto those. I don't think they'll take long. The badger didn't, and these are smaller. So yeah, I shall get onto those very, very soon. A much bigger project is I want to make myself a parasol, so that I can rock that Victorian lady style. Which I do like, to be fair. I do like that kind of vibe. It's come about because it's something I've been thinking about for ages, and then when was it? A couple of weeks ago there was an event at Ned's school, sort of a mini summer festival thing, and it was one of the hottest days we have had this year. There is no shade outside at their school. It was held up in the playing field. They have a gorgeous, massive playing field. The outside space at his school is amazing. No shade whatsoever. And so I thought, right, sod this, I'm taking an umbrella. It's not going to rain, but it'll keep the sun off my face. And it is one of the best summer related decisions I have ever made in my entire life. And I thought, well, this is great, seriously amazing, but I don't want to always be carrying an umbrella around with me when it's sunny, because it does look a bit weird. However, carrying a parasol around, that's just cool. And I have seen various examples of absolutely beautiful crocheted ones. I know that I am capable of doing the crocheted part because it's just basically a big mandala, of which I have done many. And it's just a case of getting it the right size, which I've done a bit of research on, and then attaching it to a parasol frame, which I have ordered. So I'm quite excited about that. I need to choose the yarn. I have got yarn in my stash that will work. Isn't necessarily the colours I would want, but I really should use up what I've got and not go and buy more. We'll see whether I stick to that. I do have some red cotton. I wouldn't get the gradient effect, which I would quite like, but also it would be red, which I do very much like as well. We'll see. I will let you know when I choose the yarn and when I get started on it. I would like to have it done fairly quickly if I can, and I think once I get started on it I will not zoom through it, because these things do take a lot of time to make, but I will not want to put it down because I really enjoy making mandalas anyway, and then this is a functional mandala, which makes it even better. So hopefully I'll have a lot of progress to show you next time. I want to get started on that soon. Watch this space. I have then, because again I've cleared down a lot of my active works in progress again. As ever, I have a huge stash of hibernating ones. You know this. I know this. I'm not ignoring this. But my active whips have, been reduced to, well, however many I've just spoken about. So I have spun my wheel again. I know I normally do it on camera, but I did it beforehand so I could gather up the project and just check through it first. So I'll put a little video as a screen recording of me spinning the wheel here, and it has chosen for me my corner to corner. I'm just going to check this. I know what I've pulled out, but I'm just going to check that I'm telling you the right thing. I had a moment of memory lapse then. I have two projects that are both scrap projects and both have very similar names on that spinning wheel. I was like, which one did I choose again? It has chosen my corner to corner moss stitch squares blanket. Here is an example of one of the squares. This is a scrap project, but unlike most all of my scrap projects so far, this is specifically using lots of different colours, but one type of yarn, one brand of yarn specifically. It is using up all, in theory, certainly most, of the Crochet Society Confection DK yarn I accumulate over the years, most of which I've got, you know, half skeins or less of. And what I'm doing is making squares, corner to corner moss stitch squares, in fact, hence the name. And I'm starting with one colour. I think I probably started, in fact, yeah, I will have done, because that's the tail end. So I'll have started at this corner with this one, starting with one colour, working until it gets big enough, then decreasing until I, you know, just working until I run out of that colour, and then adding in another one. I'm trying to not think too hard about the colours, so it will be quite random. I will show you all the various different squares that I've found anyway. I'm pretty sure there's some more hiding somewhere. And I know that most of the yarn is hiding somewhere else. I don't know where it's gone, but I will track it down. In fact, I might do that before I go to bed. So there's another, that one's got 3 colours in it. And whichever colour I'd finish the corner to corner section with is the same colour that I'm using for the edging of each square. The only thing is that these are all slightly different sizes. Well, some of them I think are the same, but because I've not counted the rows at all when doing these, so you can see that these two are wildly different. Dope. So I'm going to have to do some fiddling to get them all to fit together. Oh, that's pretty cool. Obviously all of these squares are finished and edged, and I don't want to frog them because that would be really annoying and would kind of defeat the point of this being a fairly mindless, scrappy project for the square. So I think what I'm going to do is take the largest one, figure out whichever that one is. There's some more. I've done quite a few. And count how many stitches each edge has, and then add edging rows, border rows, whatever you want to call them, to the smaller squares until they match that stitch count. Did that make sense? I hope it did. I think there's a start of one in there, but I won't get it out. So yeah, some of them are going to need to be increased quite a bit. Whether or not I will keep doing moss stitch but in the round, or just rows of single crochet, or whether I might do granny edging or something else, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do for the edging. I probably ought to do that before I start on any more squares, because otherwise I'll use up all the yarn on the squares and then have to find something else for the edging. And again, that would be just a little bit irritating, to be honest. I'm probably going to use something different to join them all anyway, and then for a final border, just to bring it all together, probably black again, because I do like doing that. I like a black join and a black edge. I think it really makes colours pop. I hate that phrase, but it's the best one for what I'm describing. So yeah, this is a scrappy project. I'm not intending to spend a huge amount of time over the next few weeks on it because I've got a lot of other things going on, but it is also a nice mindless project that I can just pick up and put down as long as I keep count of the rows. I need to also count the rows of the biggest one up to the increase so that going forward I can make them all the same size. Because yeah, otherwise I'm going to get very annoyed with myself. What else was I going to say? So yeah, I don't know how much progress I'll have to show you next time. If you've been here a while, you will know that I am not a huge fan of making the same thing over and over again. I'm not a huge fan of projects that use one stitch throughout. However, because I'm changing colours pretty frequently, and because each square is relatively small, even the really big ones, they do work up quite fast. You know, I have completed one of the biggest squares, for example, while waiting for a hospital appointment. You know, it's the kind of thing I take with me when I'm out and about. Not very often, but I do. So you know, I could easily complete one, maybe even two in an evening if I don't want to work on anything else. And so that should keep it moving anyway. And you know, I'm not actively trying to finish loads of things all the time at the moment, but I am getting a real kick out of finishing projects. It's nice to have that hibernating whips backlog not really going down because I keep adding new things to it. Because I start projects and then don't have time to finish them, so they then end up going into hibernation. But at least it's not growing. You know, the number of projects in hibernation has not grown this year, I don't think. I might be wrong. I'll have to have a look back through my notes and see if I've got a record of how many I had at the beginning of the year, and then maybe when it gets to Christmas I'll count them up again and we'll see. We will see. Yeah, anyway, enough babbling about this. I will work on it as and when I can be bothered. And I will show you. That's attached to something. Possibly. Just going to ignore that for now. Yeah, I will work on it as and when I can be bothered, and I will update you when I do. I need to track down the rest of the yarn and see if there are any more squares hiding anywhere. Not sure there are actually, now that I've gone through that bag. I think that is all the squares, but there's definitely more yarn. I just don't know exactly where it is. Haven't seen it in a while. But then you've seen the chaos behind me. I need to have a serious tidy up. At some point I'm going to do a video of going through my yarn stash and sorting it all out, and you'll get to see just how much of it I have and why there is so much chaos behind me, because it literally will not all fit in the boxes on my shelves at the moment. Whoops. Okay, let's talk about spinning. Got lots more to go, and this is already over an hour. I'm sorry. Might have to put a disclaimer at the beginning or in the title or something. Slow down, my camera keeps freezing. I believe I was partway through this spin when I spoke to you last. This is the Forest, which is the June instalment of the Magical Worlds Fibre Club from, mine's gone blank again, Laura, again, of Folk Yarn Studio. This is 100 grams of white Shetland top, dyed by Laura. And I've ended up with 97 grams of spun yarn, which has worked out at 229 yards, give or take. And I've got a DK weight, and I'm very, very happy with it. Colours again are gorgeous. I did this, did I? I'm guessing when I don't need to again. Let me look in the book. I've been keeping a record of all my spins. I was going to say as well, I have spun a little more than I'm going to show you. But as I think I mentioned last time, some of the spinning I'm doing at the moment is for an advent swap that I arranged actually, or at least I initiated. So I can't show you all of it in case the recipient sees these videos, because I want it to be a surprise. Where was I going with this? It is a fractal spin. It's 3-ply and crinkle, sorry. It is not the first time I have tried to do a fractal spin, but it is, in my opinion, the first time it's really worked. I think the colours have distributed really, really nicely through this. There are sections where they have blended and sections where they have separated out, and oh, I just love it. Just love it. It is not technically my best spin, but it is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's reasonably consistent. I was going to say it doesn't feel very smooth, but I think that's because it's shut them well. I don't think that's a comment on my own abilities. Yeah, I think I've got about the right amount of twist that I wanted. It's come out at roughly the right weight that I wanted for the blanket that I'm making with all of these skeins that I'm spinning up from the Fibre Club. So yeah, I am happy with this. Okay, the next one I can show you is Aquarius. This is a blend that I've spun before actually, but I'm spinning it again because I love it. This is fibre from World of Wool, and it's a 70% merino, 30% extra bleached tussar silk. This is a 25-gram skein, 95 yards, and again a DK weight. I slipped then, hello. I won't untwist this, I'll just show you it as it is. Again, the way that it's dyed up is just so lovely. And I just spun this from the fold. If I remember / can be bothered, I'll get you a picture of the original fibre as well, so you can see what it looks like before spinning. And yeah, you'll see it's combed top, and so the way it's blended means you get streaks of colour throughout the top, and depending on how you spin it, you can kind of preserve them in the yarn, which I think I've done a reasonable job of doing. And this is so soft and squishy and lovely. This is available for sale. Go check out my website. I will tell you a little bit more. I've got a shop update to tell you about when I've finished talking about this yarn, so I'll come back to that. Okay, the next finished spin that I can show you has only just finished drying, so I haven't skeined it up yet. I haven't weighed it and measured it and all that sort of thing, so I don't know exactly how much I've got, but look how pretty. This is fibre that I bought at Yarndale last year from the Threshing Barn, who unfortunately have now closed. However, I believe the owner of the Threshing Barn is setting up a brand new website under a new name, and will be selling very similar things. So she's not completely gone, she's just not the Threshing Barn anymore. Now, I don't know how well the sparkle shows, so get my face out of the way. I'm hoping you can see it I have a feeling the camera will not do it justice. This is, sparkly isn't even the right word, it's glittery. It's been so much fun to spin. This colourway is called Dark Yorkshire Skies, which is the perfect name for it. Perfect name for it. I have a little bit of a dilemma because I love this. I don't think I can justify keeping it entirely to myself. So I want to, but I don't actually know what I'd use it for. I want it just because it's sparkly and it's pretty, and I like sparkly pretty things. So my options are, screw that, I'm keeping it. Be sensible, I'm selling it. Or 50-50. Let's literally split it in half and I'll keep half and sell half. What do you think I should do? What would you do if you had spun this? What would you do? Again, I don't know what weight I've ended up with. I'm going to guess a DK looking at it. So, it's the right kind of weight for me. Might even be very slightly thinner. I think that's a DK. Possibly. The fibre content is 94% merino, 6% stellina. So I've pulled a muscle in my shoulder. It really hurts. Managed to get through most of this without wincing, but that just did it. So yeah, it's quite a versatile wool. Merino goes, can be used in lots. It's not superwash. It didn't say it's superwash, so I'm going to assume it isn't. That is usually the case. Would I wear it next to my skin? Not sure, because it's stellina, the sparkle. It's not scratchy, but there is just a very slight roughness. I think just because there's so much of it. I think quite often when you get sparkly yarn that's been spun up commercially, the spinning is done commercially. Even if you buy it from hand dyers, the spinning has been done commercially usually. And when you get sparkly yarn like that, you have your 4 plies, 8 plies, whatever weight you've got, and there'll be maybe 1 or 2 strands that have got the stellina running through. This has got it. Okay, it's a 3-ply yarn, but it's got heaps of stellina running through every single strand. Which is partly why I love it. So yeah, what would you do? Let me know. I'm going to end up keeping some of it, aren't I? We'll see. I need to weigh it and measure it and all of that stuff. And then we'll see. Right, I have of course got a spin in progress, because when do I not? I was going to show it to you, but it is still on the bobbin, which is on my e-spinner at the back of my desk, behind you, behind a heap of other things. And if I try and get it now, I'm just going to cause chaos. So I will take a picture for you instead of how it is at the moment. I've spun the single and haven't yet decided whether it's going to be a 2-ply or a 3-ply. I've spun it as one single, and then what I'm going to do is weigh it out and split it. This might not be making any sense. I'm kind of making this up as I go along. Yeah, I'm gonna literally split the single by winding it onto a new bobbin until I've got half or a third, splitting it, and then so on until I've got either 2 or 3 separate bobbins, and then ply from there. Yes. So watch this space on that. I will tell you next time what I ended up doing. This is a really interesting fibre. It's from Adelaide Walker. It was in the mystery box that I ordered a little while ago, which I think I showed you. I might have done a separate video at the time. And it is, where have I put it? 80% merino, standard, and 20% banana fibre. I didn't know this was even a thing. So that was exciting when that arrived. For reference, banana fibre behaves very similarly to bamboo, if you've spun with that, which is not completely dissimilar to how silk behaves. So it's that kind of silky kind of feel to it. My understanding is that all these different plant-based fibres that have suddenly hit the market. I've got some mint fibre in my stash. There's all sorts going on. And I've used rose fibre recently in a different blend. My understanding is that basically they're all viscose, made from plants. However, do not quote me on that. That is based off a very, very quick Google search that I did a few weeks ago. So please do correct me if I'm wrong, if you know more than I do. This spin does not yet have a name. The fibre came with no colourway name attached to it. Ned was in here the other day watching me spin a bit. I think he was just hanging out in here before bed. Watching me spin. He has suggested, I can't read his writing, Summer Blossom, which is a nice option, and I'm not saying I won't call it that, but if you have any other ideas, please do pop them in the comments. And if I like them as much as I like Summer Blossom, I'll put it up to a vote on Instagram at some point, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Is that all the spinning? That's all the spinning, so I'm going to move on to the shop update. I was going to hold things up and show you, but a lot of it is packed in plastic to keep everything nice and safe and clean and tidy, so I don't want to do all the rustly unpacking, repacking. So I'm going to put some pictures up for you as I mention things. Everything went live in my shop Monday just gone, so it is possible that by the time you see this, items will have sold already, and once they're gone, they're gone. Especially the yarn, it is completely unique every time. Even if I spun the exact same fibre in the exact same way, it would come out differently. So if any of these things have gone, I'm sorry. But if you do want anything specific, just ask. I'm always happy to do custom spins, custom orders of buttons and stitch markers and what have you. So just say so. Drop me an email or comment on here or message me on Instagram or send a carrier pigeon, or you can find me, and just ask. So it wasn't a huge update, but there were 2 new skeins of yarn. There was the Aquarius one that I've just shown you, and there was also spinning sombreros, which is a combination of 2 different colours. And doing this from memory, but I think it's 100% Corriedale, just in 2 different colours applied together. You get a nice kind of barber pole stripy effect, quite fun. And then again from memory, I'm hoping I can match pictures to what I'm saying. There are some buttons that have been screen printed with a silk screen printed with a snake design. There we go. In 2 different sizes, I think. There's also a couple of sets of marble effect buttons in shades of green, and then there is a huge pile of really teeny tiny buttons. Well, they're not that tiny, but they are, I think they're 10mm wide, which is the smallest buttons I've made so far. I just thought I'd give it a go, and I had some yarn left over from what I was doing, so I went ahead, and there's tons of them. The tiny buttons are listed as like a single item, so when you go onto the website and you look on the product page for I think I've listed them as scrappy buttons. Yeah, the listing and the price is for one button, and then you just put in the quantity of how many you want. I don't think I've put any limits on, so you could order the entire lot if you wanted to. By all means, go right ahead, please. And yeah, that will then calculate the total cost for you, and I will make sure you get that number of buttons. They will be selected at random from whatever I have left in stock when your order comes through. So, you know, the picture is of a pile of all of them. You will get a selection of the buttons in that picture. I cannot promise you which ones you will get. I think that was it this time. There were going to be some snake themed stitch markers as well. They did not turn out how I hoped. So the ones that I have made from polymer clay have been consigned to the naughty corner for now. I might do something with them at some point, but yeah, they're not in my good graces at the moment. I do have some snake charms that I bought ages ago with the intention of putting them with these. In that selection there are some large, there's a set of large plastic ones that are all the same, and then there's some metal ones that are smaller and are like a selection of different designs. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is make up some sets of stitch markers where you'll get one plastic one and 3 or 4 of the metal ones to go with, and I will list them as sets when I've got them ready. Maybe. Also in the works, there's a whole load more of the marble effect buttons that I've literally just finished today, and I am working on my next batch of themed stitch markers and buttons, which will hopefully be ready for you in early August. The first batch is complete actually, and hopefully I'll get the second batch done, or at least started this weekend. I'm not going to tell you the theme yet, but I'm very, very excited about these ones, and they're turning out really, really nicely so far. There will be some shaped stitch markers, there will be silk screen printed buttons, possibly some silk screen printed stitch markers that are just circles or squares or whatever with the pattern printed onto them. And then there will almost certainly be some of the marble effect buttons in the corresponding colours for this, well, for August's theme. So that will all be coming your way very soon. I need to stop rambling, this video is far too long. Okay, I am at nearly an hour and a half of recording time already, so I will try and whiz through these last few bits. There's not much to go, I promise. I have a little bit of incoming to show you, just a very little bit. I put in an order for some yarn from Wool Warehouse, and it's here basically. Hang on, which colour do I want to show you? The Yarnsmith's Merino DK, which I mentioned earlier, is here. This is black, and then I also bought a couple of skeins of crimson, just because it is, you know, a very lovely shade of red, and red is my favourite colour. I then also treated myself to this, which is Rico Creative Make It Blümchen. I don't know if I'm saying that right, I hope I am. And the colourway for this is 002, which I believe is called Patina. I don't know how well that's showing up. This is a lace weight yarn. So what it will say what the fibre content is somewhere on here. But it's in tiny writing, so I can't read it. So I'll find out and put it on the screen for you. But yes, it's lace weight yarn. It's 25 grams in each cone. And 25 grams equals 375 meters. Oh, it says at the bottom. 100% lyocell, possibly. I have not heard of lyocell before. I don't know what that is. But it has got teeny tiny little sequins in it, and I'm hoping are catching the light and sparkling for you as I'm moving it. So I have ordered 4 cones of this because that gets me to over 1,000 meters, which is hopefully enough to use not on its own for a garment, but to hold with another yarn to make a garment. It wouldn't make the whole thing. I am quite a large person, as I'm sure you can tell. So I wouldn't be able to make, a whole sweater with it. I would need more, probably. But it would probably do, for example, the main body. Or if I was making a cardigan, maybe like the back panel or just the sleeves. Actually, if it's cardigan, or maybe no, the front 2 panels on a cardigan, or the front panel on a jumper, or something like that. I'm thinking Christmas. Although I do wear sparkle all year round. So yeah, I have no specific plans for this yet, but I am thinking garment, possibly a shawl. To be fair, I could hold it with like some fingering weight cotton for a summer shawl or wool for a winter shawl. A big cozy winter shawl that had sparkle in it. That might be what I do. We'll see. Watch this space, I'll let you know. At some point you will see that again in a project. Alright, quick life update. There's not a lot to tell you, to be honest. Most of it I have already mentioned. There's more than I've written down though. So, because when is there not? I've already said we're into the summer holidays now. Ned broke up last Friday, so we are in week 1 and it's going okay. We've had lots of play dates this week. He's had a friend over every day, Monday, Tuesday and today this week, which has been really nice because I've been able to get some work done. Which is much more difficult when it's just me and Ned together. When his friends are around, I can leave them to play and they will entertain each other. And I need to step in every now and then and make sure they're fed and watered and so on. But they mostly entertain each other, and so I can get on and do things. We have got another 5.5 weeks to go. I may not be this calm about it the next time I speak to you, especially because the renovations are imminent. We have a proposed start date of the 4th. As of yet, there is nothing to say that that's going to be delayed, so all systems go at the moment. We are currently in the process of packing things away and emptying the garage and putting lots of things into storage, because at various stages there will be a point, I suspect, when pretty much the entire ground floor of the house won't really be usable. Not to live in anyway, we'll have access most of the time to the oven and the sink and so on in the kitchen, but we will be walking across a floor that does not have proper flooring on it and that kind of thing. So yeah, The main work is having the dining room, kitchen and existing utility room all knocked 3 into 1 and extended, because we're mad. We've been wanting to do this since we moved in 2 and a bit years ago. God, yeah. Over 2.5 years ago now. Anyway, we're also having the garage converted into a livable space, and part of that will be a new utility room. But as part of the dining room to dining kitchen conversion, we're also taking a little part of the current sitting room, shifting a wall, so the sitting room will become slightly smaller, giving a little bit more space in the dining area, what will be the dining area. So it's going to be chaos. I am sure that the builders will do everything they can to keep us as free of chaos as possible. They know we're going to be living here throughout. But yes, I can see a lot of paper plates in my future, because I don't want to wash up in the bathroom, which may be the only option at some points. I can also see a lot of sandwiches in my future, because yes, we have an air fryer and we have a microwave. I hate cooking at the best of times. Cooking amid stress and chaos, if it's left up to me, will not happen. So cereal and sandwiches and takeaways are going to be frequent options, I think, for the evening meal. That's kind of what we have at lunchtime. Well, not takeaways, but sandwiches and so at lunchtime anyway. So yes, next time I speak to you, hopefully the work will have begun and will be progressing well, but I expect I will be feeling quite stressed. We shall see. The other main thing is the rebrand. At the moment, I am still just about on track for that launching on the 1st of August. Teased it last time. Still not going to reveal everything. But I have already said the name is changing to Stitchcraft Studio, just because it feels partly a bit more professional, which I want. You know, this is a business, I'm not just hobbying anymore. But also because it allows me a bit more, I feel it allows me a bit more freedom in what I do with the business. It doesn't even have to be making things necessarily. Stitchcraft Studio works for pattern design, it works for running workshops, it also still works for crocheting things if I decide to, for the spinning, you know, the hand spun yarn, for the notions, for it covers a lot of things. I'm very happy with that. The supremely talented Gemma, who is my very good friend, of Yorkshire Indie, has helped me with the branding. Oh, she's amazing, and she just gets me, which is brilliant. So I have a new logo and a couple of other little graphics and things, and she has reworked the colours for me. Still going to be a purple base to everything, but I am leaning into the slightly edgy side of things, and yeah, kind of, I don't know, edgy modern elegance, maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm having fun with it anyway. I'm really excited about how it's looking. I'm currently wrestling with a new website. I was going to just edit the existing one, but I've been thinking about starting a new one anyway, and so it made sense to just start a fresh one with the new brand instead of having to change it all and then blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I think I've done, well no, I haven't done all the work I need to do. I've got lots of admin-y bits to do with that. I think I've got the look of it about right, but I still need to do like setting up standard shipping rates and all of that boring behind the scenes stuff, which always takes far longer than I think it's going to. So yeah, wish me luck. Chipping away at it, doing little bits at a time. I will also have a brand new email address. I will keep the existing one open for a while because I know it always takes time for people to switch across. And there are a few things that I've signed up to using that email address, so yeah. But yes, there will be a brand new one. I think that's all I need to say. I have completely forgotten to mention another thing I am launching in August, because obviously August isn't busy enough already. I'm putting together an advent as well, of stitch markers and or buttons. There are options for you. I'll do a separate video about it at some point if I get the time. If not, just keep an eye on my Instagram feed. There will be information about it there. In fact, there is a teaser post up on my grid already about it, so have a little look at that. Again, all going well, it should be available for pre-order from the 1st on the new website, hopefully. Right, let's wrap things up. My next episode should be published on the 15th of August. I say should because life happens. Sometimes things don't go to plan, but hopefully that is when it will be. As I mentioned last time, I'm taking a little break over the summer from the craft markets that I organise. The next one will be at the end of September, and then there'll be one at the end of October, end of November. The camera froze again, obviously, and I don't know how much of that you heard. But I'm not going to repeat myself because I can't be bothered. I am done. It is... to check that the clock did actually say that. It's midnight. And I know I stay up late all the time anyway, but I didn't intend to be recording quite this late. It is midnight. I was going to say I'm going to go to bed. I'm not. I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to watch an episode of something. Then I'm going to go to bed. I need to wind down before I can go to sleep. Yeah, that's it. Sorry this was such a long one. That's another thing actually that I would really like your opinion on. I think I've asked before, but I can't remember what anybody said. And I might not have asked. I can't remember. Do you like the long episodes? Or would you rather break things down a bit and do shorter ones? I could either go back to recording more frequently, which would mean there was less to talk about. If I go back to 2 weeks, they're still quite long, but I can usually keep them to around about an hour. Or I could break them up by subject and sort of release 2 or 3 over the course of a week. So I could have just crochet projects, just spinning. Maybe? Let me know what you think. Because I don't really mind. The editing is easier if I do one long video. But however I split it, well, no, if I recorded more frequently, then obviously it would be I'd record and edit and then record and edit as I do at the moment. But if I split it and did 2 or 3 in a week, I would record them all at the same time and then edit them all at the same time anyway, so it wouldn't be that much more work. So yeah, I'm easy. Let me know what you like. I want people to enjoy watching these. I must go. I'm rambling again. Thank you, especially if you've made it all the way to this point. Hi, it's Jenny from the future, editing Jenny. My camera froze again halfway through me thanking you for watching that ridiculously long video. So yeah, thought I'd better pop back in and say thanks. I really, really appreciate it. So if you have made it all the way to the end, please do let me know by popping an emoji in the comments for me. We'll go with a turtle this time. There's now background noise happening, of course, from the other room. That's my son talking in his sleep. Not quite as loudly as he has been doing recently, thankfully. Yes, as ever, questions, comments, general sayings of hello are always welcome. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video, share it with your friends. Most of all, just enjoy. And thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, it's done. You can breathe a sigh of relief and get on with your life again. Until next time, take care.